Hey guys, this is Bruce, and welcome to another episode of ConvoCourses, where we are dissecting each individual comments one at a time. That's what we do here. We keep it as a conversation between you and I. And if you're interested in continuing this conversation even after this, after hours, whatever time of the day, then the best way to do it is to contact me directly with contact at convocourses.com, or you can go to Discord, or you can go to convocourses.net and get lots more. This is a conversation between all of us. If you're interested in that, check us out. Here's what the site looks like. We've got free templates, we've got resumes, we've got huge discounts on courses that won't last. I mean, I've only given this out to a certain amount of people. So while supplies last, go ahead and check it out. Without further ado, let's get into a question like we've been doing daily here. And the next question I want to talk about is, or comment is, let me see if I can find one that we haven't done yet. Somebody said, made a statement that you can get Qualys Scanner for a virtual machine. Oh yeah, that's right. We were taught, somebody asked me the question on a live stream of how can you start to learn GRC? How can you do labs and actually get hands-on stuff? And I was mentioning to them that you can do Tenable, because Tenable allows you to have a free downloadable, the trial period of like 7 days. You can mess around with it, and that will allow you to say on your, mess around with it for a few days or whatever, make a virtual environment, conduct scans, look at the scan results, and you'll be able to say on your resume, I'm familiar with Tenable, because that's the truth. You'll have played with it, read some of the material on it, watched a few videos about it. Now you have a very good understanding of how to actually, not only what it is, but how to use it, because you've messed around with it. And then somebody mentioned, well, you can also use a Qualys scanner on a virtual machine for free training and on a free account. So that's another device. So some of the GRC tools that you use, aside from EMAS and Exacta, which are tools we can't use unless you're actually in that environment, but some of the ones you can use are scanners. If you're an SCA, this is very valuable to you. An SCA is a security control assessor or an auditor or something like that. But anyway, GRC people could use experience on Qualys, which you can download for free, and then Tenable, which you could also download for free for like a 7-day trial. And then there's other tools like VMware virtual environments, and those will allow you to kind of mess around with different operating systems and get your hands dirty to learn stuff, and you can actually put some of that stuff on your resume. All right, so let me see. The actual question I wanted to get to is about the security certifications, or certifications in general. And somebody said that they took the Network Plus check, Security Plus check, SSCP check, their associate, I think, yeah, ISC2 associate. And they said that the ISCP, the SSCP, man, the SSCP exam was crazy hard, and several times I almost fell asleep in the testing room. 4 hours allocated to 120 questions was not fun at all, but I passed on the first attempt. Congrats, first of all, on that. And I told them, my reply was, CISSP was crazy hard for me. So what I wanted to do was quickly rate these from a 0 to a 10, with 0 being an ITIL test, a test that you can take cold and just pass it. Let's say that's a 1. All right, 0 is like you just walk in and they just give you a certification. Which those, I guess that exists. Like if you sat in certain classes, they'll just give you a certification. All you have to do is sit there and listen. You don't even have to take a test. And then 1 being a 4-question ITIL test, where you study for 4 questions, you take it, and then you pass it and you're good. And then a 10, let's say a 10 is like, a 10 would be like a CCIE or a GSE, where it's not only thousands and thousands of dollars, but it's also a practical, a couple written tests, and it's an entire giant laboratory where they're breaking things, and you have to have hands-on. So that's a 10. All right. So what's the rating on each one of these? I'm going to rate it because I have most of these certifications. So Network Plus, it was not hard. I would say Network Plus was one of the easier certifications that I took. And it was a huge confidence builder for me because I took that test and I was like, damn, I could take any test. I'm superhuman, but it wasn't that hard of a test. I would say it was about a 3. Like, you do have to study for it. I don't think you can, unless you are a professional network engineer or something, you could probably take it cold. But if you're starting out, it's even easy for people starting. But I did have to study, and I would give it a 3, maybe a 4, 3 or 4, depending on where you're coming from. But if you're a new guy, I was a new guy, and I would say it was a 3, 3.5. Security Plus was at a good 5.5. It's right in the middle. It's a little, it has a lot of information, but it was actually fun. It was at a level that was actually where it was just challenging enough to where you feel like after you did it, you accomplished something. And then it's just like, it's got that middle path feel to it. Security Plus is just a great certification because it's in the middle. It's not too easy. It's not too hard. And then when you get it, it's great in the market. SSCP, I have not taken that one, but he's saying it's super hard. I can tell you the CISSP is one of the hardest certifications. The CCNA, the CISSP are 2 of the hardest certifications I've ever taken. I took a Microsoft one, but I only took like 1 certification. It was like a entry level. So that one wasn't too hard. I would say that one was about 5 something, 5.56 or something like that, because there was a lot of information on it. But security. Let's start off with CISSP. I would say that was like a 7. It was a pretty hard test for me. Maybe 6.57. I would say a 7 because there's a lot of information on it. I would say a 7. It's not anywhere close to an 8, 9, or 10, but I would give it either a high 6 or a 7. It's one of the hardest tests I've ever taken, And then CCNA, which I've failed at least once. I passed it back in the day when it was just 1 test, but then I went back and tried to take it again, and I freaking bombed it. And that test, I would say, it's about the same level as a CISSP, maybe a little bit easier because it's more focused on one thing. So I would say it was like a 6 or 5.96, something like that. And then when you take the CCNP, I think that's much harder than the CISSP. I think that's much harder because you got to take several tests to pass it. So that's what I would say. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments, in the chat, in the comments. What do you guys think? Give me 1 to 10. Do it in the comments so everybody can see it, because sometimes we won't see the chat. Tell me, what is your hardest tests, from 0 being like you just walk in and then after it's done, they give you a certification, to 10 being a CCIE, like you don't even know anybody who has that certification. And most people who've taken the test won't even admit that they do. It's so hard that most people don't even have the qualifications to sit for the test. That's a CCIE or GSE, sans GSE or something like that, right? And then an 8 being like a super hard OSCP test that only a few hackers can actually do. And then let's say the CISSP, well, for me, it would be a 7 or 6.9 or something like CISSP. And then the middle ground is like a Security Plus. But what is your rating? I want you guys to put that in the comments below. All right, guys, that's it for this one. I will see you guys tomorrow.